The Minnesota Vikings have been on a losing streak since last season's playoffs, but it hasn't been because of Kirk Cousins. Cousins is leading the NFL in both passing yards with 1,075 yards and passing touchdowns with 9. You see, when you watch the games that he's doing everything he can to carry his team, he hasn't gotten his first win of the season. Part of that has to do with a lack of a running game. For years, the Vikings were a great running back team led by former Viking legend Adrian Peterson, and then after he left, Dalvin Cook was running the show on the ground. This past offseason, the front office felt it was better to let go of Cook and rely on Alexander Mattison. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out like that. They recently made a trade with the Los Angeles Rams to get Cam Akers. They think he'll be able to help pick up the run game and take some pressure off Cousins. Akers wasn't able to play in week 3 because of how close to the game the trade was, but he should be able to play in week 4. However, the strength of this team and the reason Cousins is able to put up such a high numbers is the wide receiver group. They have arguably the best receiver in the NFL, Justin Jefferson. He led the league in both receptions and receiving yards in 2022 with 128 catches and over 1,800 yards. This season through week 3, he's currently leading all receivers in receiving yards with 458 and is in the top 5 in receptions with 27. The receivers behind Jefferson are KJ Osborne and Jordan Addison. Osborne is an underrated receiver while Addison is a rising rookie who can do it all. They both have the speed and can get open, with Jefferson taking all the attention from the defense. Adding in tight end TJ Hawkinson, and you have a lot of weapons to throw to. And who better to use all those weapons than offensive expert Kevin O'Connell? After being an offense assistant of Sean McVay with the Rams, O'Connell brought McVay's genius to Minnesota. It worked perfectly in his first year as a head coach, as he finished the season 13-4. Of those 13 wins, 11 of them were one-score games. In a lot of them, the Vikings had to come back after being behind. Then they completely flopped against the Giants in the wild card game of the playoffs. Now, this new season hasn't been going the same way as the 2022 season. The passing offense has been, of course, amazing, but the run game and the defense haven't been able to help much at all. As good as the passing offense has been, it usually starts off slow and the Vikings end up being behind by multiple scores. Kirk Cousins has done a great job of catching up and keeping them in the game, but unlike last season, they haven't been able to pull off the comebacks and finish the games. The main reason the Vikings have fallen behind and not won their games, even though the offense is gaining a lot of yards, is because of all of the turnovers, especially the fumbles. They have fumbled the ball 7 times over the first 3 games. Cousins has also thrown 2 interceptions. That's a total of 9 turnovers. It's really hard to win games when you're giving the ball away so much. The interceptions by Cousins are a little understandable because in all 3 games, he's had to force throws to try to win and make a comeback. Still, that is no excuse for starting the season 0-3. With the kind of numbers that their offense is putting up, they should at least have 1 win. Cousins is literally averaging 350 yards and 3 TDs a game, and yet they're still losing. Week 2 was against the NFC champs from last year, and week 3 was against a loaded Chargers team. But week 1 was against the Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback. That is one they should have won. I don't know if the Vikings can turn it around for the rest of the season, but you can bet Cousins and Jefferson are going to try with the help of Cam Akers.
Bitch, we some stars, pull up in foreign car.